Would you mind if I touched, if I kissed, if I held you tight in the morning light?
Oh.
Would you mind if I said how I felt tenderly tonight? Again, 'cause I never ever felt this way in my heart before.
Oh.
Oh, love has found its way in my heart tonight. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
That was great.
That was beautiful.
Yes. Good
That
job.
yes, that was great.
Yo. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Marquise.
And this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
And welcome back to the You Stuck With Me podcast.
You stuck with me.
Beautiful. How do you feel?
I'm excited today.
Yes, because
I'm excited for our guests.
Yes.
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 So we have some guests here, you guys. So they're very near and dear to our hearts.
Very, very near and dear.
But I don't think that we can give them the best introduction. So
not at all. Not at all. It's not enough to words to explain how much they mean to us.
Yes. So you guys want to give yourselves a proper introduction, because I don't think we can do you guys justice.
You can't do you guys justice.
Okay. How did we meet?
Well, who are we?
Who are we?
Yeah, you can say our name.
We are Jerry and Linda Robinson. We met in 1976. Yes, 1976 in high school gym. We was high school sweetheart. We was in a co-ed gym, and that's how we met. We've been married how long?
43 years.
43 years and still strong and still going.
43 years. Did you hear that, babe?
Yeah.
Man.
Major flex.
And I'm just happy we made it to 3.
Yeah, they still got some time on us.
Right? We 3 down and a lifetime to go.
I'm not complaining about it.
Hey, I'm not complaining about it either. So thank you guys for coming on.
Yes.
We've been talking about this for a while.
Yes. So how do you guys feel today?
We're feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
It's Saturday. I'm feeling good.
Same here.
Feeling good, feeling great.
Yes.
Feeling great, feeling good. How are you?
So for everybody listening, they are our premarital counselors. They've definitely been helping us through our marriage. And yeah, they are near and dear to our hearts. They were at our wedding. Great people. We go to church together, the biggest church in Chicago. So Salem Baptist Church of Chicago.
Shout outs to Salem.
Yeah.
Yes, Salem.
Yes. So we brought them on today because, like they said, they have 43 years of marriage, and right now the way that society and people believe in marriage, some people believe in marriage, they think that is not important, which is actually very sad.
You know, and I think part of the reason why it just feels is that conception that it's not important is because, you know, again, like we always say, social media plays a part in that, right?
The loud minority.
The loud minority. And then also sometimes we feel like nothing is obtainable, it's not for us.
Agreed.
So
with it being the first day of Black History Month, we thought that it would be nice to have a couple who signifies love for 43 years, and not just 43 years, but letting people see what it's like to see a married couple thriving.
Yes, and one of the biggest inspirations for us.
Us,
yeah. But before we get into that, as you had mentioned, it is the first day of Black History Month. So when this airs, it would be day 3 of February, right? So in today's society, as we know that's going on, I feel like that we have to share some Black history before we proceed on.
I agree with that.
Right? Because this is a time where Black history is important, and we need to continue to share that information, right? So I have a Black history fact for today.
I'm ready.
Yes.
Hey. So my Black History fact for today is, in honor of the Grammys coming up, Ella Fitzgerald was the first African American person to win a Grammy.
Yes.
I actually heard of one of Ella Fitzgerald's songs like all the way through. She can blow.
Well, also, she was responsible for what's that nursing rhyme? A tisket, a tasket. Yeah, that one.
We're kind of showing our age a little bit.
Hey. Hey, now it's nothing to be ashamed of.
It's nothing to be ashamed of, because every day is Black History.
Every day, all day, every day.
So to kick off this episode, we want to talk to the Robinsons. We want to ask them a couple of questions, see what it's like, what it takes to survive. I'm not gonna say survive, but thrive in a 43-year marriage and counting.
Okay.
Oh my God. First of all, God.
Always.
When I met Jerry, I asked him, he wanted to date me. I say, do you go to church? And he said, well, what church do you go to? And I told him, and he came to my church. I was 16 years old. So God is the first in our life.
That's the three strands. I mean, I can't do it by myself. She can't do it by herself. And then there are times when we are at odds, that God being the center point is always where we get our wisdom and our guidance.
Yes. And it do be bad times, but you have to pray over. You have to walk away, take your time, come back. And a lot of time when we come back, we laugh about it because it wasn't really serious then. Then it was serious, but now when you laugh about it, you think, oh, that's what's so funny. Look, can you believe we did that, or say was arguing about that or something? But yes, marriage is fun. We have fun in our marriage. We love each other. We married for love. We stayed in love with each other, and we do things together that we love to do.
I love it. I love it. So let me ask you guys this: what are the different ways that you, or what are the different things that you do to stay in love and keep the marriage spark?
We date each other.
Yeah.
We
date night.
We just went and seen Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
So we go to we when we was younger, we was big on concerts and going to different concerts and comedy club, and we still try to do that. We also try to have dinner together, just us two, and we talk together.
Yeah, communications, and marriage doesn't mean you don't have fun. Life does get tough. It does redirect you every now and then, but it's important that you have fun together, And I think the biggest thing for us is there are going to be arguments. That's just the nature of the game. Men and women see things differently, but we learn to argue to resolve and not to win.
Yes.
And I think that's a big difference when you argue to resolve.
And Jerry and I, we like to see married couple get together. We usually have a yearly married couple game night that we play fun games and enjoy each other. And when you get around other married couples and see how happy they are and the fun that you can have, it makes you want to stay married and have fun. You guys have been to a couple of married couple weekends or whatever, game night, and it's fun.
Yeah, we can definitely testify that. They're always fun.
Competitive, but really, really fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun.
Yes.
And I think you guys brought up something that made me think about something. In your marriage, you learn to, or at least you learn to try not to take everything seriously. You gotta have some laughter, some moments where you have your inside jokes, and sometimes you'll be around people and you have an inside joke and they're just looking at you like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yes, we've been there, done that. Inside jokes, or either Good example, we watched TV, and we used to go. Jerry was big in wrestling with the boys. We have 2 sons, and I'm walking in the store, and he's like, down the aisle, Elizabeth. Everybody looking at him. I look at him. I knew just what he was talking about because you was
I was
Macho.
Mark and Randy Macho Man Savage, and nobody knew what I was doing, but she knew what I was doing.
Right. So we have our inside jokes and things that we do.
As soon as you said Elizabeth, I'm like, not my Randy Savage.
I am Macho Man,
Man,
Randy
Randy
Savage.
Savage.
Yeah, and he always do Macho Man. Yes.
So you said something about date night. So I'm gonna go in this direction. What kind of dates do you do?
What kind of dates do we do, Jerry?
We do dinner dates. We do movie dates. We do, as she said, comedy shows date. We haven't been in a while, but we still like going to see the live plays. When something comes to town. Sometimes we just, let's just get out and go do some day.
We
When you like, this is Chicago, and especially in the summer, there's so many things to do. You get up and you say, well, we ain't been over to here
Navy Pier.
or something. Let's just go.
We spent a weekend at Navy Pier together and rode the boat. We just do Chicago. It don't always have to cost a lot of money. We sometimes just go in the park and walk together. Our date night could be an exercise together. Whatever we want to do or what we like to do. We like Gary popcorn. Sometimes we ride and go get Gary popcorn, and we take our time and coming back. And while we coming back, we talking, and it's date night to us,
And one of the things we started, and it's during the summer, is we go to, what's the ice cream parlor up there? We go to the ice cream parlor.
Rainbow.
Not
Rainbow Cone.
Rainbow Cone.
From Rainbow, where you can sit down, and they got the chess tables. We don't play chess, but you can sit
over bees or something.
Over ice.
Yeah.
All right.
And we just sit down, have ice cream, and talk.
I'm glad that you said that, because we now have this. We live in a generation or a world where everybody wants to be seen. So I think that, and Beautiful, correct me if I'm wrong, because of the knowledge that you guys have instilled in us, we've been able to make just about anything date night from.
I was getting ready to say, because we have this thing where, well, okay, we can say yesterday.
Mhm.
Yesterday we went out. Where did we go? Where we go that afternoon with the situation with your car?
We went to
the mall.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we went to. We went to the mall. We was like,
and we were just window shopping.
we were just window shopping. We were just waiting for my brother and our brother and sister to land. We were from O'Hare, so it was like, we're just gonna go to the mall and waste time. And I was like, hey, babe, is this a date?
Definitely was.
And he said definitely was. I was like, yay, like that's our thing. So anything like going to the mall, going to like the laundromat, or just doing something, one of us would be like, is it a date? And we'd be like, yeah. Then we'd be like, yay. So I get it. And that's one of the things that we hear a lot in our generation, like, oh, everything's too high, everything's too expensive. I'm like, no, you don't always have to spend money to do a date.
Yes.
Right.
And I'm glad you said that, babe, because we just a lot of people feel like you got to spend money to show somebody that you care about them. And that's definitely not the case.
With me, it's always a thought that you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could, I feel like this: when you give anybody a gift or anything like that, it's always about the thought, not the monetary value. Because you can spend all this money on a gift, and the person may not need it or may not use it.
Or worse, may not appreciate it.
And may not appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I always, with that, my rule of thumb with that is, it's the thought about, like, if you see if it's something they need, or it could be like something from the dollar store. This is just me, or if you see, Five Below. That's one of my favorite stores.
Yes.
If you might see a keychain like a Jordan Gym shoe on it, something like that, oh, they might like this, that would make my heart smile, because like, oh, I like sneakers and stuff like that.
And it's definitely important, and you guys can agree or disagree with me. It's very important to learn your partner and not expect your partner to be the same person that you first met.
Like
That's
a
true.
change.
That's
A
true.
change. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Definitely got to love their love language. And the person that you marry is not the person you're going to always be. Everyone changed. I changed. He changed. Society changed. Why not your partner?
agreed.
Agreed.
And I think that with it's not gonna always be a easy it's not gonna always be an easy thing to accept the change that your significant other is going to go through, but I think it's just important to stay there whatever their change is going to be, because like you just said, it's important to know that your significant other and even yourself, you're not going to be the same person that you start out in marriage that you are like 20 years into marriage.
That's true. You know, you bring up a point, and I think you guys probably heard me say this before. Your marriage is a living organism. It
Mm,
changes as you change. And so you can't always expect it to be the same way when neither of you are the same. You have to adapt. And if it's a change that you like, great. And if it's a change that you're struggling with, that's where the communication comes in at. You can't just, you're talking to the king of stubbornness. So I've learned you can't
Yes.
just dig in, put on your armor, and revolt against it. You have to be open minded.
And at first you're not going to like it, but as time go on, you say, when this is what he like, this is what he want, this is a change, you accept it. When you go to a new job, that's a change, and you have to accept what's going on in that new job. So it's the same way with a marriage. Like when we used to tell our kids, they are was employee, this is the CEO, and I'm the manager. So you see it like that, and that's how you do it at a job. So why you can't do it at home?
that's true.
That's true. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, it brings me to a question. So sometimes in marriages, you have different opinions and different views. So I think we touched on a little bit. So how you guys handle like those disagreements or those arguments? Like our thing is we don't go to bed angry. So that's our thing. We don't go to bed angry because for me, and Bae, you can agree with me too, it's like we don't go to bed angry because we don't want that to be the last thing that we tell that our loved one. Like I could say, forget you and all this other stuff. I don't want that to be the last thing, and then live with regret. Like I didn't really mean that.
Yeah.
So how do you handle those tense moments of disagreement? Like you not feel like you don't want to talk to each other and all that.
And
Okay.
and I just want to piggyback one more question to hers. Uh, just a question like, do you still have disagreements? Because some people believe that in marriage you won't have many disagreements or
Yeah.
disagreements at all. So
Oh, that's a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start with the Reverend because she was preaching for a minute there, and that is that's a biblical thing where the Bible tells us not to go to bed angry, and because the bottom line is then anger just festers and you wake up even angrier the next day. So that's always a good practice, and we we still argue? As long as I'm a man and she's a woman, we will argue.
Yes.
Listen again. That's a biblical thing. You think back to Adam and Eve. After they had eaten the fruit, God came to them and asked them, and He was speaking to Adam, and asked, why did you eat the fruit? Adam didn't say, my fault, my bad, or whatever. Adam said, God, this woman that you gave me, okay? Now, you will not find this in the Bible of Eve's retaliation or anything, but do you really think that Eve stood there and took that.
No.
You know,
Absolutely
you
not.
know,
Nah.
okay, so and this is just me speaking. That's where the first argument started, and man and woman have been arguing ever since then.
But you know what? We do argue. Sometimes I be going on and on and on, and I know he don't pay attention to me. He kind of take me hearing and don't hear, and then sometimes he shut down. Sometimes I shut down. But all of our arguments are not really serious fights. It's disagreement, and you can have a disagreement. We always have disagreement. We had a disagreement before we came on here. We had one laptop. We had to switch out to another laptop. So it's always, but it don't mean that just because you disagree, it's a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the right to give your opinion and say what you got to say, and he have the right to say what he got to say, and we be through with it. But it be sometime that I call it silent nights in the house, that we don't say anything, and then he may come and tap me on the butt or look at me, and I may look at him, or he may come and kiss me or hug me or do something to take that moment away and bring it back to a good moment.
And as I said earlier, you're gonna argue, and it may be on the serious thing, but if you're arguing, argue to resolve the problem. Don't argue to prove your point that I'm right and you're wrong, because that creates more animosity between you two.
Yes.
Argue, let's figure, okay, what is the problem? Now let's argue to resolve this problem.
And sometimes it may not get resolved. What I like is what I like, what you like, what you like. But we agree with what each other like and keep on moving. And then you was saying something about going to bed mad. No, I cannot go to bed mad at him, because I get cold in the bed and I need somebody to keep me warm. So even though we argue, he still know I'm he
Don't
knows,
look away from me.
and I'm still gonna get close to him, and that's gonna start a whole different thing now.
Marquise, is she preaching?
Yep.
Okay, I am not. Okay, I agree. I'm the same way. Besides not wanting to be the last words to you that I don't like you or whatever like that, I need warm flesh. It do be cold, and I need the protection, because it be cold on that side of the bed. So I get it. I completely get it. I get it,
Why are you over here pointing at me?
because that does sound like you. I still love you.
I'm not gonna argue because you're right, but I just want to point that out.
I have no shame in wanting my husband to hug me at night after her argument, okay? Because it'd be cold. It's nothing like feeling protected,
Yes. And that'll change everything.
okay?
I see what you did there. Well played. Well played.
That silent sleep be turned into snoring. Once it becomes.
And as far as we're going with this discussion about arguments and disagreements, something else I want to ask you guys about. At what point do you realize that it's okay? And I think you briefly brought up, it's okay to agree to disagree.
I think when it go on too long.
It's within you. There are times me and her have been going back and forth in an argument, and it's like a light bulb turns on, and you say, okay, it's just a spin cycle.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She likes it on the left hand side. I like it on the right hand side. There's really nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just let it go. It's almost like a light turn on. If you're really trying to resolve, you'll come to that level of intelligence on your own. It's just not worth the effort that you're putting forth.
And it's not always mean who say, okay, we need to resolve this. Sometimes I be going on and on and on. And he was like, Linda, okay. And then we agree with this. And it could be the same way with him. He can be in his situation and going on and on and on. And I'm like, hey, babe, come on, baby. let's do this. And then you realize, because sometimes when you get deep in a conversation and you think you're right or you want it your way, you're not thinking that, okay, I need to stop this. So he gonna stop me and I'm gonna stop him. And sometimes we say, let's get in our corner. Then that mean we got to split up and go away and then come back. When you come back, it's a whole different ball game.
See, I wish it was like that for us.
It's a
When
lot
we
of experience.
when we get into disagreements and we just don't talk to each other, Marquise would agree with me when I say this. The day don't go right. Right?
Oh man, look,
So, for example,
look, like literally everything that can go
everything
wrong
that could
does
go
go
wrong does go wrong. I never forget. I was still working in a hospital, and I was working in a
Kitchen.
no, well, I was working in the kitchen, but I was taking the patient's orders. I was in the spinal tap, you know, those with spinal cord injuries. There we go, ward. Usually they chill. Usually they don't ask for much. But that day, everybody was on 10. It was like, what's my food code? Like this, my that. Why are you taking so long? It was just too much. Then the car tried to stop on me. And I was like, you know what? We just go kiss and make up because I can't deal with the chaos.
Man.
I can't.
Look, and I'm glad you brought this up. This leads me, because I've done that too, where we have a disagreement or a really bad argument, which is very rare. The next day, it's like, this goes wrong. It's like, you know what? Excuse me. I'm like, you know what? Let me call her or let her get back home so we can hash it out. Say I'm sorry, because
I don't even do that. I just come in the door. I just look like a sad puppy, and I just be like that little kid that just need a hug after a long day. And I just be like, I'm sorry.
yeah,
Do you forgive me?
with a quick yes.
And then that'd be it, and then everything just feels better after that. I don't know what it is,
But
that always happens to
Well,
us.
what I found it is a lot of times I'll say things are just going wrong, but a lot of time it's more me than anything because I'm on 10. So the smallest little thing puts me over the top. And there have been times when, I went to work like you said, and somebody said something, and I just went over the top, and then I thought about it later, and I was like, that was not necessary, and I've had to, go back to that person and pull them aside and say, you know what, that was a little bit over the top. I didn't mean to do that. So a lot of times you're already upset, and it's his fault, but you're upset. And then you go to work and
take it out on everybody.
That littlest thing that you normally wouldn't even notice just blows up.
Well, one thing that Jerry and I do, and we've been doing this for about 15 years, maybe 20 years, is that we pray every morning on our way to work. We both have to be at work at the same time, and he calls me and we make sure we pray every morning. And that do make it more peaceful or easy for me as it go on, because I work up grouchy. I know I do. And I'd be like, this. And he was like, where did it come from? I said, what's on my mind? And this. And he just look at me and let me go, because he know eventually I'm going to calm myself down because I am not a morning person. So
That sounds familiar. That's me in the morning.
yes.
And she hit on something. Prayer together is such a big thing. And making it a habit of, taking not just time with Marquise going to God, but time for yourself going to God. And Marquise, you want to send her to God, because you know what I found? Linda can argue with me and be dead wrong and still win the argument. But when she go to God, she can't argue with him.
No.
She can't argue with him. And the answers that she's going to get back from him are going to be truthful, insightful, and directional. That'll help us as a couple.
Yes. Oh, I can out talk him and out argue him. Even though I know I'm wrong, I can still make him feel like I'm right.
And
Don't
this,
look at me. Don't look at me.
this is why I send her to God, because you can't argue with God.
So,
You know, the similarities are astounding.
Look, I don't know what
you
you're
know, we
talking
always
about.
said y'all just like us. I tell you that all the time. You remind me of us. How many times have I said that to you too?
Yes.
And you know what, Jerry, you brought up something I wanna touch on real quick. Two words that people tend to have a hard time saying whether they're in a relationship or not. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Because people, I'm sorry to cut you off, but some people have too much pride and ego just to mutter those two words and actually mean it, especially in a marriage.
I apologize for everything, don't I?
Mhm.
I apologize for what other people do. We be in line and it be too long. I said, Jerry, I'm sorry this line too long. He's like, what you got to do with it? I apologize.
And that's me. I be feeling bad, and I'd be like, I'm sorry, man. He'd be like, it's not your fault. What you
Right.
sorry for?
Yeah, like what are you apologizing for?
I just be sympathetic, because I understand.
Yes.
And this is why it's, again, so important to have God at the center of your marriage, because I was raised in a real chauvinist household, and those two words just didn't exist. I'm sorry. And a lot of times I find myself when I'm praying about us to God, is, just like my father will slap me upside the head and say, look, this is what you're doing wrong. You need to go back and correct this, and this. And as I said before, I can't argue with him, because I know he knows way more than I do. So and it's through him that I have gotten in the habit of coming back and saying, I'm sorry, because sometimes as me being me, I couldn't see my wrong.
Mm.
And if you don't see your wrong, then you don't say, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Now, would you say that's one of the things that you learned within your marriage over all these years
Oh,
that
definitely.
marriage has taught you?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Because, like I said, I grew up in a real chauvinist household. Men had defined roles, women had defined roles, and it was very old school. And if we messed up, we didn't say we were sorry. It was just telling my sister to clean it up.
I always been the type of person that was sensitive to others and said, I'm sorry. I have all brothers, 3 brothers. I'm the only girl. And whatever they did, I tried to help them and clean it up and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to help you. So I always been, we totally different, Jerry, and I always been like that. So I'm always apologize for other people, try to clean up behind what they did or make it sound better. Like somebody says, I saw them. They didn't really mean that. They mean this. Jerry say, just tell it like it is, Linda. That's the way that's what they mean. So
And
we're different in that.
the one thing I would add to all of this, it's not just going back and saying I'm sorry. It's saying what you're sorry for. Because a lot of people will come back and just say, I'm sorry. Okay, what you're sorry for. And that's something I learned within our marriage, is to go back and say what I'm sorry for. Yeah.
That means a lot when you tell a person what you're sorry for, because that means that you have thought about it, it's in your heart, and you letting it out. You showing it. Yeah.
So Miss Linda, so what is something that you've learned with
I
the
have learned
marriage?
to be more patient, and it don't have to be correctly. You know, I'm the type of person, it have to be this way. Let him do it his way, and it's still going to be the same. It's still going to be come out right, but it's not the perfect way that I need it to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And I also learned to listen more. Don't be such a talker, because I can talk on and on and on and listen at what he had to say. And I also learned to ask him, what is your opinion about this? What do you think about this? Because a lot of time it's my opinion, what I'm doing, like we decorating the house or fixing the house or something, is what I like. I had to learn to ask him, what do he like?
Mm-hmm.
And I have two boys. I've been around men all my life. They are not going to tell you unless you ask them. So you need to talk to them and ask them, what do you like? What would you want? What do you think? And then they will tell you.
And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of times we underestimate the opinion of our spouse, and sometimes, whether it's man or woman, we tend to make decisions that aren't always in the best interest of our spouse or in our household. So I've learned as the husband, I don't know anything, and if I'm going to go to consult my wife, she may have a perspective that I never thought of, which more times than not happens. So learning to listen and ask your spouse for a different opinion or just their opinion can definitely catapult your marriage in the right direction.
Yes. And also, we never make a big decision without talking to each other about it. Because I can't go and buy a car without asking him, even though it's our money, just make that decision. I want to know his opinion. We together, we can be better than one just making a decision. Because what I see, I'm going to be looking at how I look, the color, and this. He going to be looking at something else. But together, we're going to buy the best.
And that, honestly, I think that if you value your spouse, you will ask them for their opinion, not just ask them for it, but appreciate it.
Right.
And that's one way that your marriage grows.
I don't know. For me, I would say that just turned into a habit for me. Anything like dealing with a purchase or something like that, like even if it's something small, I just be like, "Hey, babe, what do you think about this?" Because I always had that. I always had that thought of I don't never want him to feel like that he's not included or left out. And that was one thing that I learned within our marriage so far, that when I think Marquise is not listening to me or he's not thinking about something, he just processes things differently. Because I used to think he'd just be ignoring me or whatever. No, he just has to take time to sit and analyze. Like me, I can think of something quickly. So I would say that's one thing that I learned so far.
I'm glad you said that, because I feel as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but whether you're 3 years into your marriage or 43 years into your marriage, two things are going to be constant: communication and really learning your spouse, because your spouse can like one thing one day and they don't like it the next day. So
baby, you change every day. You change every day.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I think all people in a marriage change every day, even if it's a big thing or it's a little thing.
Right. And this is why I always say your marriage is a living organism. It's constantly changing and evolving with you.
But I like to change. I like sometime when he change and don't do the same thing all the time, because as society changed, Jerry and I was born in the 60s. It's 2025. Seeing how many changes we have seen. We can't stay in the 60s. We have to move with it. So we change, and I love the change. Don't change me too fast, but bring it to me a little slow. And
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, I think that is critical to the marriage, that not only do you evolve in it, but sometimes you need to talk about the evolution. Another form of communication. And also, communication is not just what you say with your mouth. Sometimes it's just your body language.
Body language, the way you look at a person, everything. Where you don't say nothing is communication. You ask somebody something and they don't respond, that's communication that I don't want to be bothered.
With that being said, I've learned that sometimes silence speaks volumes.
Yes.
Yeah, because when Marquise is quiet for too long, I mess with him. I had to tell him, stop acting normal. And what I mean,
please explain that one.
What I mean by that is, you know, you guys watch our videos and listen to the podcast, right? So
Yes.
Marquise is always up to some antics with me. Like it could be something simple like smack me on the butt or tickling me or whatever. So when he's quiet for too long, I get concerned
Yes.
because it's like I'm not used to the quiet, calm Marquise unless he's like working or something like that. That's different. But sit in the car and just be quiet. Don't try to poke me, do this or any of that. That concerns me. And I have to tell him, stop acting normal. No, it'd be like, stop that. He'd be like, stop what? Stop. I'd be like, stop acting normal.
No lies told. And the crazy thing about it will be I'm just in deep thought about something. I'm just looking out the window and just, I'm not really thinking about anything. Sometimes I'm just relaxed in the moment and I don't feel the need to do all that stuff. It's just I feel like I'm in a good space.
I never really think that I did something wrong because I have to check myself. Like, okay, what did I do today? Okay, I ain't do nothing wrong. Why are you acting normal?
And I would tell her, you didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here. I'm relaxed. And I think that sometimes it's hard for her to see that because sometimes I'm like on the go. I'm moving one place to another, and I'm thinking about one thing, and it's just when I sit down and I'm just like, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?"
And vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But it's good to give each other their personal time, though. And that's why I had to learn. I used to want, when we first met, I used to want to be up under Jerry all the time. But then I learned that we both need our personal time to go do whatever we want to do. And when you come back, that's when it's popping.
So that actually brings me to my next question. How do you guys balance the time together and personal time? Because I know sometimes we might want to hang out with our friends or just have me time. How do you guys navigate that?
It's what we do is if one of the guys call me and they want to get together and do something, or we want plan to do something, my answer is let me check, make sure we don't have anything already scheduled because she puts everything on the calendar. I'm a free form. I put it up here, then I move it to the back. And sometimes we have things scheduled that I don't remember. And so then I'll check with her. Anything scheduled on this day at this time? No. Then okay, me and the guys are planning to go out and go to a ball game or something like that. It's just a matter of communicating with it. I mean, it's not something that I'm gonna do a lot because I know that's even though I want my time, I know my first priorities is in the home.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. I'm not a type of person, Jerry. You got to be with me. We can't do that. I like for him to go out and be with friends. You have to be out, go and enjoy yourself, and come back. And the same with me. I got different. We got different ministries that we in. We got different groups that we in, and you go out with them. Excuse me. And when you come back, that's a good thing because you come back, you tell each other, it's a good communication. We talking to each other, letting each other know what's this, find something new. So it's good to be together, but it's also good to have your personal space and go out with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it also starts with a basic understanding that even though we love each other, it was never meant for us to spend 24 hours a day together.
Mm-hmm.
It was never meant because we're individuals. And, individuals need their individual time. So it's a basic understanding that, this time is needed. And as she said, it's okay.
Yes, because, Taylor, we need to do it back again. We had ladies' night.
We did.
And it's just us. It's good to have something like that. You don't have to be under your spouse all the time. And we had fun.
We did.
Everybody be asking me, when we going to do it again? When we going to do it again? We just got to get together and do it again. But yes.
Yes, I agree. Our ladies' nights are lit.
'Cause it's ladies' night and
I
the
do
kid
so
is
hit
right.
that song. I do it.
And that brings me to my next question. I know we actually talked about this on the podcast, and we also brought this up to you guys too. And it's one of my favorite questions to ask because we're in a space where we're talking to other couples around our age and stuff like that, and this always comes up. So we, of course, we have friends that are not in relationships or that are in a dating pool. Okay.
Mhm.
So, what advice would you give not only to us, but those in a situation as us who are we in our friend group about the only ones that's married or in a serious committed relationship? Balancing that time between us and then those friends who are single and dating. Because I'm at a point now, and I told Marquise about it too. Like, I've told my friend group, like, when we go out and stuff like that, I would pass on certain things. And in the beginning, I'd be like, well, I mean, I'm not trying to sound bogus or anything like that, but this is a singles thing,
Hmm. I mean,
And
you're just calling it for what it
yeah,
is.
this is a singles thing. Or when they talk about the dating pool is trash, stuff like that, I'm like, I can be a listening ear, but I can't really give no advice on that. I've been out the dating pool for
Almost 8 years.
8, 9, 10 years. So it's like, how how do you navigate that when you with friends who are like dating and not in a relationship?
I let them be them, and everybody know me and Jerry. Me and Jerry been together forever, so they know me and Jerry. People will ask me, "Well, Linda, what you think?" I haven't dated in so many years, I don't even know how to date. Look for a date like that, but I let them be them. You can be around, you can hear, and I don't put anybody down because everybody's not Linda and Jerry. And but if it get too rough, there's something that I don't want to be around, I know how to ease on out of there. But a lot of people respect me for who I am, and they know that I'm married, and I have married couple and single people have come to me for advice, and I try not to give them advice, but throw the question back at them for they can think about it and they can answer the question themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
I have been through that phase where I had to let people know that I'm married and not a wingman,
Mm.
because I do have guys, friends who are still are single. Then sometimes we do go out. Like I said, we'll go to a ball game, or we'll get together, have dinner and a drink or something, and I have to let them know that from time to time I'm not a wingman. I'm married. When we were single, this type of behavior was acceptable when I was single. Now that I'm married, if this is what y'all want to do, then like Linda said, go be you. Don't involve me in it, because then I become the oddball out, because I'm not into engaging in what you want to do. People will try you and try to draw you into their uh,
Shenanigans.
yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah,
the word.
try to draw you into their shenanigans, and you have to let them know, no, this is not me. If you want to do that, you go do that. I'm gonna go over here and give you your space. If you draw the line in the sand, for the most part, I would say 90% of your single friends will understand
And they respect you
and
for it.
respect you for it. The other 10, they just, some people just don't learn. So
Hmm.
you
Mm.
have to stand, let them know that that line has been drawn and I'm not crossing it.
And yeah, that also brings up the important part that why and how it's important for married couples to hang out with other married couples.
I think it's very important. We have a married couple ministry at our church that we are part of, and I think it's good because you learn from other married couple, and then you friend with them, and you're not doing the single thing. And what I mean about the single thing, everybody's not there looking at, oh, what she got, or who that, how he look and all that. You're not into that. So it's good to have married couple friends, but all your friends are not going to be married couple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have friends that are widows and everything. I have friends that's single. It doesn't make a difference. A friend is a friend, but it's good to spend some time with married couple friends. You know,
I agree with that.
I agree.
I found that very important because your single friends, like she said, your single friends aren't going to be able to relate to anything marital, and vice versa.
Right.
So, and being around other married couples, they can speak to things in their marriage that can help you in your marriage.
yes,
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
that's right.
You know, it's a good time out, but it's always a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a learning experience. And you know, the thing that you find out is that no matter what you're going through, it's not unique to you. It may be
Somebody
a
else been
unique
through
situation, but someone has went through something similar. And again, it becomes a learning experience, and you can look at them and say, well, you know, they made it through. Why can't we? You know,
That's important. That's good.
And we always tell, well, first our single friends, you know, shout outs to them. They're very supportive of our marriage.
Mhm.
They always, you know, praying for our marriage. In a sense, we've been told we're couple goals, but we were like, we appreciate the compliment, but
But
we
we don't
want
want to be couple.
we don't want to
goals.
be couple goals. We always encourage to have a relationship that's tailored to them, no pun intended. But you know, so
Yes.
I actually like talking about that's actually one of my favorite questions to ask because you just to get like different perspectives.
And to let people know that we always say this, the Marquise and Taylor, now we're not the same Marquise and Taylor.
Oh
10 years
no,
ago.
baby, no.
I see the growth in you too.
All right, is it time for my last favorite question?
Go ahead.
All right, so this is a curveball question. It's a fun question. So you know, I'm the music head between me and Marquise, so I always gotta ask a music question. You ready?
Yes.
If you had to choose a song that currently that describes where you're at in your marriage now, what would it be?
A song that describes where we at in our marriage now.
Yeah, like if you had to describe it. So like for example, where me and Marquise, we in the, let's say, family planning stage. So our song would be what was that Jodeci song we did for the episode? Forever My Lady.
Forever My Lady.
Yeah.
Well, we trying to retire and enjoy. So what song we trying to?
I guess it would be Maze, The Golden Years.
Yes, that's
Oh,
good.
I
That's a
like
good
that one. I'm gonna
Yes.
add that to the playlist.
like that. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a good one.
So my last question would be, what's next for your marriage? What do you see happening in your marriage now, or in the future? I'm sorry.
We trying to retire.
In the future, we first of all, we're not going to stop what we're doing because that works. You know, that's keeping God first and talking to each other, getting up each and every morning, appreciating each other. And in the future, Linda said last night, and then I guess in a joking way, but it was the real answer. It is, you know, it's us till death do us part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, that's the vow we took, and that's the road we've been on, and I see no reason to change it.
I love that.
I
love
want to
that.
see. We travel a lot, but I want to see more traveling because we don't have nobody to worry about. It's just us, you know. So this is a good time of life, and I tell you, enjoy your life while you don't have kids, because we had a life before kids, and we enjoy ourselves. Then we have kids, and now we enjoying ourselves again. So enjoy, do everything you can before kids, because that's what we did. Kids don't stop you, but they do slow you down. But
They redirect you. That's what
the
it
one
is.
they redirect you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you have fun with your kids. Now I miss my kids not being at home, but I also miss them when they're not with us too. So we just want to keep having fun, and like Jerry said, death to us do us part, and be together until we get old. Till we just be together. We just used to each other.
You're stuck with each other.
That's the good word. Been married since we was 20 years old. So that's a long time, and we still see more time coming.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love that for you guys too.
Love it.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
You
For
welcome.
blessing us with your presence on our show today. I actually manifested this a little bit. I did.
Hey, look, you manifested and
I
it,
did.
and it came to fruition.
We was like, how can we have a show during Valentine's Day if we don't have the couple that helps us out all the time, help us create the foundation for this? How? It's a more imperative that need to be on the show. That was my exact words. He'll tell you.
Definitely her exact words.
Yes.
But helping you guys also help us.
Yes.
So,
Really?
Yes.
Yes. When you've been married as long as we have, you get into ruts or routines. And then when we speak with younger people like you who are just starting out and trying to figure it out, it reminds us of how we were, and it helps us to get past being stuck in ruts or routines that may become stagnant to us.
Yes.
And then you guys always give us something that, we never had to go through. So it gives us, it's a transference of knowledge. That's what it is.
Yes.
And, from the bottom of our hearts, we definitely appreciate you guys. We definitely love you guys because you guys consistently pour into us from the smallest talks to the biggest life lessons. We definitely thank you and we love you.
And y'all stuck with us forever.
Yes, I'm going to say, and you stuck with us. We said we're a lifetime. We're going to be together.
Yes.
And, we love you guys.
We love you too.
Yes. Thank you for inviting us and having us here. We enjoy it.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
And thank you for the support.
Yes, thank you for the
you guys support us also.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So on that note, beautiful, you want to tell the people where they can find our podcast?
You can find us on Spotify, YouTube,
Apple
Podcasts, or anywhere you stream your favorite shows. And you can follow us on social media. Babe, you want to tell them the handles?
Yes, so the handles for the podcast are at IG, You Stuck With Me _podcast. That is USTUCKWITME_podcast. You go on Facebook, just type in You Stuck With Me. You go ahead and see our newest content, what we're talking about, how Taylor practices for her yawns, and so much more.
Practices for my yawns. Wow. And then, Steve, you go laugh too? All right, I got y'all.
And you can email us. You can email us at youstuckwithme@gmail.com. That is UW.
UW.
USTUCKWITME@gmail.com. Once again, youstuckwithme@gmail.com. USTUCKWITME@gmail.com. You can find me on my personal pages on social media, X, formerly known as Twitter, and IG. That's mine _1 and 1NE_1. And you can follow our TikTok page before it ever goes away. And you just type in You Stuck With Me podcast, and it'll be right there. Babe, where can they find you?
And you can find me on Instagram and the app formerly known as Twitter under Queen Points. That is PO1NTZ. Again, that is Queen Points, PO1NTZ. And if you want some sidebar content, you can follow me on TikTok as well. That's Queen Points 22. Again, it's Queen Points 22. And also, we have a live show coming up.
Yes. Live show coming up at New Direction Church, April 5th.
April 5th. Make sure you grab those tickets.
It's only $5, y'all.
Hey, the Robinsons grab their tickets. You might want to follow suit, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be a live show. We're gonna have everything that you can think of, from karaoke to live conversations about marriage and everything else in between.
Definitely karaoke.
Yes.
Yes. And on that note, this is your boy Marquise.
And this is the one and only and favorite Taylor.
And we out here, guys.
Hey, come back.
You stuck with us.
You stuck. You
Peace.
stuck with us.
Peace out.
Later.